Other M, Issue 11. We start out with Knuckles seeing camera footage that was previously recorded reminding him of stuff like what he did to Fang, and Tails taunts him, maybe unintentionally, about how busy the rebellion's been. Knuckles, calling him Miles since he probably didn't see Tails as a respectful name, tells him not to taunt him since he's not in the mood. Tails says that with such power, he's still not able to defeat the rebellion, so he really is taunting him. And Knuckles threatens the idiot, proving that he might not really care about him that much if he means that threat. Tails, who is drawn with the neck for some reason, says that he'd win back some time by having a plan. He says that he thinks Knuckles has noticed his personal project, and Knuckles says that by that he means he's been stealing from them, which Tails somehow already knew about. And he let him continue because he was curious about what the Eve Tails was constructing. He shows him whatever he constructed and says that he constructed it to lead the assault against the rebellion's main base of operations, while he's wearing a shirt that looks exactly like the one Miles wears for his final design, only with 2 more buttons. So that's where Flynn got the idea. Tails says that he might know where the rebel base is too, because each time the rodents raid Echinopolis, they always go to Launch Base Zone, in the abandoned sector the original uprising was crushed in. So how did the villains not start putting together where the heroes' base might be until now? It seems implausible considering how quickly they're starting to theorize about it. Tails says that he doesn't believe the heroes are there, but by looking at the last few months of activity there, he saw a number of condemned tubes that were used recently. Out of nowhere, Knuckles says that's too careless even for the rebellion, even though he's saying in the same sentence that he thinks the rebellion is unintelligent. And even more out of nowhere, he tells Tails to dismantle the device that he just said he found impressive. This seems like another major idiot ball moment to force a concept, especially since this Knuckles at the very least seems to talk formally, saying intellectually challenged and all. So how is he stupider than Knuckles? Tails explains in a panic that only one set of tubes leads to a possible hiding place, while the others were activated as decoys or to be looked over as technical glitches in the decaying system. He begs him to let him attack Angel Island. I guess he thinks, like, these freedom fighters are terrorists, so of course he would want to defeat them a lot. Because how are they supposed to know that they're actually kind of good people? But still. Fortunately, Knuckles agrees, but unfortunately, he then grabs him by the neck and tells him not to challenge his final word again and to understand that it's by his will alone that he continues to live. Is this the first time he's ever treated him this way? It's gotta be, but this comes out of nowhere. I thought he at least cared about him, since he bothered to raise him when he didn't have to. As he sits on the floor looking sad in the shadows, Knuckles walks away, and I wonder if he's even turned Tails against him. We see the alternate freedom fighters sitting together, with Sonic sitting with his arms around a horribly drawn Fiona, and Bunny doing the same thing with Bean. All of them are on the mountain on Angel Island with a weird name. Bean makes a toast, hoping that the Guardian will die a slow, painful death, and Sonic, of all people, just says, "and soon," instead of being creeped out with the evil-sounding wish, like would actually be in character for him. If this wasn't the Prime Sonic, this would have been fine. Bean seems to jinx it by saying that things are going well for them, and Sonic says it's a sure thing they'll win. Then we see Amy briefly, and Fiona says that there's something odd about Amy and she's worried about her. Bean says that if they were meant to save her from the Guardian, then so be it, and Fiona at least admits that they shouldn't get rid of her while pointlessly complaining about how she's so different. Sonic talks to Amy, and Amy says that while she likes it here, she says, "We'll be leaving soon, and I'm sorry he has to die." I'm just gonna assume that either she only got the psychic vision way too late to be useful, or she just didn't think anyone would believe her. But if it's the latter, then that's still pretty shameful because she's responsible for what's going to happen later. Antoine screams, "My God," and points at something in the sky. Bean looks at an attack ship through binoculars that's heading right towards him, and he calls for a red alert saying that everyone has to evacuate, grabbing only medical supplies and food. He tells Antoine to stay here and keep them posted on how close they are and run when they get close to firing range. So he's gonna die, right? Meanwhile, Tails tells the echidnas in the attack ship to target the mountain first. How does he know that they're in the mountain when he just said that he thought they were in Launch Base Zone, and Launch Base Zone was leading them up to a place, And we saw the heroes dive down into a lake and resurface in their base, which has to have been in the ground then, not on a mountain. And then Tails tells them to begin the attack in 2 minutes, putting full power to thrusters so he can catch the rebellion off guard. When the kid is confused but says yes sir anyways, Tails, who's unfortunately still drawn with a long neck for some reason, glares at him just to pointlessly get a more polite response than Knuckles would get. One of the freedom fighters tells another one of them, while getting out of the water, that they're right on top of them, and there's a loud rumbling sound. Tails orders the mountain to be shot at, attacking the mountain with lasers as the heroes flee. Bark is still here to make sure everybody's out, and Sonic calls out for him looking scared. There's a crashing sound, and Bark is told to drop something, and he just tells Sonic to get Amy, who apologizes, feeling like this was her fault. Bark for some reason doesn't just drop or throw what he's holding over his head. I mean, I guess he only carried it because of, like, adrenaline, and now he can't do anything else with it but hold it over his head. But you'd think that a cyborg like him would have super strength, or like, he's a Mobian, you'd think that he would have some kind of superpowers. And Amy teleports Sonic away, doing what Bark told her to. Why didn't she teleport Bark with her? So I was supposed to believe that Amy had teleported Sonic away from Knuckles last time, while she was unconscious? I guess even in her unconscious state, she got a psychic vision of what was going on when she was being carried. And what does being able to teleport have to do with psychic powers? Whatever, it's an alternate universe, Amy. She has that on top of psychic powers. I wish she had a good hairstyle to make her design better. Also, I think 2 other freedom fighters got vaporized, but I can't really tell because of the art. I guess I'll find out for sure next issue. Seriously though, Bark being killed off was totally unnecessary. I'm pretty sure the plot overall would have gone exactly the same way if he was there. I mean, he's done literally nothing so far. He wasn't allowed to go on a mission because he was too big, remember? And he was the mediator at one point, but that's not a mission. This issue is by Ian Flynn and had the evil Tails after being inexplicably turned down temporarily and then threatened by Knuckles, the one who raised him, remember? Also, Knuckles wanted to have his ship dismantled like an idiot. That evil Tails goes and attacks the mountain that the heroes were hiding on with his airship because he somehow knew to go there when he was just talking about them being near launch base zone. This leads to Bark getting unnecessarily killed off because he couldn't bother to put down or throw the boulder he was holding above his head, and Amy couldn't bother to teleport him with Sonic. And Amy feels responsible for everything that's happening here in a guilt complex, even though Knuckles and his minions would have attacked Sonic anyways. And Amy teleports Sonic away because apparently she could do that all along as a psychic. Making me wonder why they don't just teleport to King Acorn and save him too, or teleport to Knuckles and snap his neck while he's off guard because the heroes apparently want him dead so badly. This issue made no sense. Also, I hate how the art on one of the last pages doesn't make it clear what's going on. Sonic's running towards his new friends, then it looks like they got vaporized away? Huh? Or did they just get teleported?